What's up, Maniacs? Today we got my buddy Rich here over there, and he's brought his Paddy Hopkirk edition car in, and we're gonna take this Forge Motorsport hard pipe and replace the stock one, give it a little more cool noises and airflow. So I'm gonna show you the process. Rich and I are gonna work on it here in the mini vlog garage, and we'll see what the process is like. I'll walk you through it along the way. Okay, so to start, we're gonna need to remove a few things. We're gonna need to remove the cover, the air box, the sensor that goes into that pipe, and then the inlet as well. So we're gonna remove these 4 major components first, and then we can start to remove that old pipe out of there. So let's go ahead and do that. So to remove the inlet, you gotta remove the 2 T10s that are just right here, and then it'll pop right out like that. Next we'll do the air box, and that's also a T10 right here, and then it'll have some little rubber clips that'll help pull it out. Next, we're going to remove the sensor. So to get that out, you're going to pull out this little white plastic clip, and then you'll just squeeze down on it and pull out at the same time. It should come out. Don't break anything, especially when it's not your car. Next, we have the little rubber mounting point for these sensor cables here. We just want to lift this off of the air box. It makes our life a little bit easier. Just lift up like that, and now they're out of the way. Now when you're looking at yours will probably only have the one wiring harness. This one has 2 because it has a NM power module, so this is what that second cable is, but normally just the one here holding it on, just so you know. So next we're going to remove the engine cover. This has a brace here, so I'm going to slide my hand underneath here so I don't scratch anything lifting it up. Just got to lift up gently, 4 corners, and then we're going to slide it out. Again, I'm trying to be careful not to scratch this plastic. There we go. Look how cool this molding is. Perfectly molded. And it still has the price tag on it. Next, we're going to remove the hose clamps off of this using a flathead. If you have a T7, you can use that as well. So let's loosen this up. We don't need to go all the way out. You see it's much looser now, and then we'd be able to, in theory, slide this pipe off, which I'll do in a second. All right, there's our pipe. Kind of rest it out of the box. It's just held in with 3 rubber grommets down at the bottom, so you kind of just lift straight up. Bang off this pipe. There we go. We're gonna have to remove 2 cables on this stock inlet pipe. We have this first one and then this one. In order to remove this, you're gonna squeeze from the top and the bottom and then pull towards you. So Rich is gonna demonstrate that. It's kind of hard to see with a hand in the way, but that's what you're gonna do. There you go. So the other one is the same idea. You're gonna squeeze the clips. You can see there's a little bit of serrated edges on it. Those are the 2 points where you're gonna squeeze in and then just gonna pull up on it. Next, we have a single bolt down here that's holding a pipe onto the engine. It's a T30 that we'll use to get out of there. So next we need to get a spring clip that's holding the pipe on. Instead of a hose clamp, it's that little clip. You can see it right there. It'll make more sense when we get it out and can show you in person. So we're gonna need to pull that out to release the tension, and then we're gonna pull the pipe up at that point. We're gonna try and leave the clip on the hose itself so it doesn't drop down into the engine bay. So we're gonna go ahead and attempt that, and we'll show you any failures that we have, because I'm sure there will be some. You can see we're using a flathead screwdriver to kind of release some tension on that, and then we'll pull the pipe up when we get that out.
There you go. So here, if you want to take a shot of it now, how it's released.
You can see down there, that clip is now released. You couldn't see that much of the clip before. And again, you'll see more of it when we pull it out. So on the back side of this stock charge pipe is a clip that's holding on a wiring harness, and you want to try and remove it. I can't really show you because it's way back here, but when you reach back there on a cool engine, you'll be able to feel it. So I'm gonna remove that. We'll show you what it looks like when we get it out. So to give ourselves a little more room to finagle this pipe out, we're gonna remove this foam cover on the high pressure fuel pump. That just gives us a good 1/2 inch to 1 inch more space to maneuver this pipe out of here. So the hardest part of this install so far is just getting this wire clip open. It's gonna be too hard for me to show you how we did it here, but I'll show you when we take it out. Probably the hardest part. Now we can just start to finagle this pipe out. It's gonna be a little bit of a chore with this bar in the way, but we're gonna get it. So. Okay, so we have the stock pipe out. We found it easier to break it into 2 pieces. Remove the one-time hose clamp off of here, took this out, and then we removed the pipe out of the left side. Other videos, other people have removed it from the right side. Whatever's easier, whatever works for you. The models are slightly different in variations depending on the year. But I want to show you some key features here. We have that spring clip that goes around the bottom of the pipe. Remember, we want to point the ends up when we put the clip back on, just the way it came off. These clip ends point up. On the back side, we have a little clip that holds the wiring harness. This was a tough one to get open. We had to kind of put a flathead back here and pry it open. Once it's open, it opens really easily, and you can remove the wire harness that sits in there and is clamped in there. So then there's also this, what is this part?
I think that's for evap.
We'll call it the evap line. We found it easier to remove in the bay, in the engine bay, before finagling this one giant piece out. And to do that, you need to just depress the clips on both sides. We did it with a small screwdriver, and then rotate it, and then just pull it out with this gasket that's friction fit in there. There is a wiring harness in some models mounted to the back of this. Yours may or may not have it, so just look when you're pulling that out of there if there's a wire on the back side. This one had it, so we removed that. And maybe we'll be able to show that a little bit better when we put the new pipe back in the car. But yeah, this is the stock pipe fully out. Again, broken into 2 pieces, found it easier to get out that way. So to start, we're going to put the parts onto the new pipe. So we're gonna start with the spring clamp. Remember to have the tines facing upwards.
There we go.
Next, we're gonna put some grease on this O-ring just to make sure it slides in nicely, doesn't crack or break. So I'm gonna go ahead and just put a little bit all the way around. So now that we have that greased and lubricated, we're gonna go ahead and reinsert it. There you go, snaps right into place. So we got the clip and the emissions or evap hose on here. Next we put the P-clamp hose on here with the provided mounting hardware. And we don't want to tighten it all the way yet because we're going to need to kind of finagle it while we are installing it. So for now it's just loosened. Put the flat side of the P-clamp. So you got the L side here and then the flat side up here. Put the flat side on top, and now we can go ahead and start to try and put this in the engine bay and start to mount everything up. So we're gonna find it easier to take off this brace part in order to get this in here. Save ourselves a little bit of time and sweat, so let's go ahead and do that. Okay, so that pipe went in a lot easier. We didn't capture it on video, but there are other folks that have a video of how to do it. Maybe it shows up on the time lapse, we'll see. But if not, I'll link you to another video that shows you. Basically, you want to start with the pipe upside down, go down about 1/4 of the way, then rotate it counterclockwise, and then you should be able to slide it in at that point. So I'll give you a little idea of what we're looking at down here. This is the new hard pipe. Right here, there's that spring clip, and then there is our turbo inlet. We're gonna reconnect all the wires first, and then we'll push the push the hard pipe back down onto the turbo inlet. So on that evap pipe, or whatever that pipe is, we got the sensor plugged back into the back side of it. Here's our new charge pipe right here. There's that clip that we just plugged in right there. So we're gonna continue plugging in the remaining sensors that we need to plug in, and then we'll put that pipe down on. So a quick update where we're at. We put the brace back on. We got it out of the way for a minute, which gives a little bit more room. We have connected the charge pipe down onto the turbo, and now we have some connections to reinstall here. And then we will put connect it to the airbox with the sensor.
Simple, just like you took off. Instead of pushing on the tabs, just click it. You just slide it right back in. Makes a nice, satisfying click. Same thing with the other one.
Cool.
Beautiful.
So we're gonna take our P-clamp and we're gonna slide it down the pipe to get it closer to the factory mounting hole, which is right there. So we've got our C-clamp, we got our P-clamp back to where it needs to be, right over the factory mounting hole. So we're gonna tighten that P-clamp, and then we will use the existing hardware, this guy, to mount this bracket back to where it goes. It's gonna hold this pipe right in place. So now we've got the clamp down. We're gonna put the fuel pump foam insulation back on. So go ahead and slide that back on. It'll be a snug fit, so. Next, we're gonna put the hose clamps on in order to then install the new bendy elbow that connects to the airbox. So we're just getting that on there now. So we finagled the airbox back into place with the hose new bendy elbow right here. And don't forget to put your hose clamps on so you don't have to take it off and do it twice. What's remaining to put the mass airflow sensor in and put the box back down, and then the intake that goes to the box. So those last 3 steps should go pretty quick. So let's go ahead and do that. So we have the airbox in the pipe installed. There it is with the new elbow. The sensor's plugged in, the intake's installed. Last step, put the cover back on. Okay, so here we are. We have it running. We tested it out. Works good. Got the GP ready to go too. We're gonna go for a little ride. But yeah, everything looks good. It's running well. Rich, what do you think? Sounds good.
Looks amazing.
Yep. So, job well done. We'll put the video. We'll leave any links in the description down below where you can get the parts, see other people's tutorials on it. Maybe ours isn't the best, but follow it along. Leave any questions or comments you have down below. I'll try to answer them. I'll try and see if Rich can answer for you. Subscribe if you haven't already. And as always, when you see other minis out there, don't forget to wave.
wave.
Yeah. All right, see ya.